Good morning, guys. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday morning, such as myself. Well, I guess I can kind of say it's more of a lazy, quiet Sunday morning. My kids are somewhere disappeared in their room, and I have the office space to myself with a little quietness this morning. So I hope you guys are having a quiet Sunday as well. It is such a pleasure to be here with you guys this morning, and I am truly, truly excited that we get to enjoy this Sunday together. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that is really pressing my thoughts, and I'm quite sure that with everything that's going on in the world today, the same pressing of your thoughts could be this topic as well. And that topic is I've achieved my life goals, so why do I feel unsure about what's next? Yes, I have achieved my life goals, so why do I feel unsure about what's next? Okay, so I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and of course the early 2000s. And back in those eras, there was this you have to live the American dream. You have to live the American dream. You have to go to college. You have to get a good job. You have to buy a home. You have to save up with your retirement. You have to have 2.5 kids, the dog, the white picket fence, and all of those things, right? That was the era that I grew up in. It was a fun time, and yet it was a stressful time. However, working so hard to be an overachiever and also being somebody that had to overcome a lot of unfortunate circumstances growing up in the community that I grew up in, as well as being in an abusive household, it was, a goal to achieve a status as well as achieve wealth, because I felt that if I achieved that, then I could overcome the struggles, the hardships, and the pain that I endured as a child. So, of course, the American dream was my dream. And I think I set out to accomplish that dream simply because I wanted validation. Although that validation was fleeting and temporary, I still wanted it for whatever moment that I could get it. I wanted it. But I want to pose a question. Have you ever looked at your accomplishments, everything you worked hard for, and wondered, why do I still feel unsure about life? I mean, I did the absolute most. I went to college. I actually graduated college early. I did college in 3 years while having my son in college. I went back for my master's. My initial reason of going to college because I wanted to become an attorney. I wanted to be this powerful attorney that save the world, save the people who look like me, save my community, save the abused children out there in the world. And I wanted to be this big, strong attorney that would come into the courts and be of justice for everybody who was enduring emotional pain, distress, and hurt. However, once I got to college and I started realizing I was not equipped for life, college, motherhood, I was not equipped for anything. I soon realized that, I don't think I want to be an attorney because I don't want to save people because I don't even know how to save myself. And at that moment, I realized that I needed to figure life out. So I did what probably most, or maybe not most, some people actually went on to complete their fields of study and actually became what they wanted to become in life. I, on the other hand, decided I wanted to take life in my own hands and actually create the life that I wanted, which was entrepreneurship. That may have been one of the best or worst ideas that I've ever had, but I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. After many businesses that I have created and gained good traction from, actually got great income, profits, I still never felt accomplished for doing these things. I felt like maybe I should have went back to law school. Maybe I should have become an attorney. Maybe. I don't know. But the question still ring, heavily in my thoughts. But if I've done majority of the things that most will do or will not do, why do I still feel unsure about life? As a 37-year-old woman who's achieved, the American dream early, I got married at 26, 27. I had my kids by then. I bought my first home. It was on a golf course. It was gorgeous. It was a 2-acre home in one of the most beautiful neighborhoods. My kids went to great schools. I had the business. I was making the money hand over fist at that time, and I thought I had it all. I ended up getting into some situations with the workers that I had, and I learned life very fast. I learned that people were not as trusting as I was, and everybody didn't see life the way I saw life. So that in itself took me down a rabbit hole of self, internalizing of who I was, what I really had endured, understanding the traumas that had been inflicted on me as a child, and realizing that I was going to have to figure life out, and I needed to figure it out fast because I am now in the thick of my American dream, air quote, and I'm not understanding why my American dream is causing me so much distress. It's inflicting so much mental and emotional pain, and I am not happy. So, as I mentioned, as a 37-year-old woman now who's achieved those things, I've even crossed state lines and built a home with my then husband, who's my ex husband, of course, now. And I ended up building a home from the bottom up. It was a gorgeous 3,200 square foot home. I thought I was winning. I thought I was doing what life was supposed to be at that time. However, I still felt the question, why do I still feel unsure about my life? Why am I not happy? And what is it that life is trying to guide me to? And how am I supposed to do it when this was the structure, this was the standard that they told me to do, be, achieve, and just, this was the American dream. Why is it not feeling dreamy, right? So, despite feeling accomplished of achieving, college, graduating college while having a child, achieving financial success of being able to have a business and have the success in the business, making $1 million not once but twice, and having what I thought was career success and other milestones that defined me as making it in life. I wondered why I was still facing the challenges of feeling stuck, feeling unsure, feeling unhappy. Like, why was I not feeling the dream? And it just blew me to where I'm like, what is going on? And it sent me into a deep depression. I can remember one time when I was in college and I was not able to come out of my apartment only for class. I would go to class, and once I get out of class, I would go straight back to my apartment, beelining it to my apartment, leaving my friends. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go to the clubs. I would go to my apartment. I would open up my Bible, and I would just read, cry, and pray and internalize all of the things that were swirling on the inside of my mind and my heart. And I would just like repent, like, Lord, what are these emotions? What are these feelings? What's going on the inside of me? Why do I not feel, what is this? Craziest thing is that I did not know I was in a deep state of depression. I had never been told what depression was. I had never been told how to overcome depression, how to recognize the signs and the symptoms. I just assumed I was being lazy because that's what I had been told my whole life, that I was being lazy, not knowing that I was truly undiagnosed. I just been diagnosed as an adult a few years ago, and not knowing how to really take on my mental health because I was never taught about mental health. So back in college, I realized that that was depression. And then moving into this American dream part of my life, I realized that I was a high functioning depression, high functioning ADHD, and I would highly function with these behaviors and still be confused as into I've achieved the American dream. Why my dream don't feel like a dream? It feels like a nightmare. And I just couldn't understand it. So let's talk through the things that I achieved in the American dream. The American dream told me to go to college. I went to college. I went to college and I graduated college in 3 years, undergrad. And during that time, half of college, I think my brain blocked out because I had so much emotional and mental distress that I remember sometimes, and then I remember majority of the bad times because I had to go to college. I was the only freshman in college with a vehicle on campus, and that was because I had to work. I went to college, I got settled in the first week, and in the first week, once I got settled in, I learned where my job was. I actually transferred my job from my hometown, which I was working while I was in high school, transferred my job down to my college town, and went to work the second week that I had just gotten to college, and I was working full 40 hours while a full course load throughout my whole college tenure. Then come third year, I'm almost done, and here I am figuring out that I am now due to have my son, and I'm still working. I'm still going to class full course load. Mind you, during the summers, I would go to summer school full course load during the summers. So I assumed that if I hurry up and got out of college fast, that I could get me a job fast. And once I got a job, then I can get the income. And once I got the income, I could stop the emotional pain that I was having inflicted due to earlier years and childhood traumas, right? However, none of that ever stopped it. So I felt that if I achieved college as fast, I could achieve financial success and stability as fast. So I went through college. Mind you, I was the first to graduate. Outside of I had an older cousin who went to college and he, turned out great. And then it was myself. Out of all the women in the family, I was the first to graduate. Once I completed that, I went on to start my business because I wanted to work for a company and I couldn't. I worked for this company for a minute, and as I worked for this company, I was just like, I do not like the way you guys navigate business. I don't like your ethics. So I decided that I could do better, right? and I decided to do better. However, I never realized that I mentally was not in a space to do better. However, I had the capacity because what I've learned in college to do a great job, but I never had the mental capacity to withhold everything that it would take in order for me to achieve great business success. So I started my business. It was a behavioral health company. Ironic, right? I started this business and I did it on my own. I did great. Got it up off the ground, got it up and going, and it was soaring. Oh my God. I was making well over 6 figures a month with this business. It grew from just myself to having 50 employees to over 150 clients within a year time span. I was doing great. It was going. However, I was still unhappy, still not fulfilled, and still not achieving my inner goals in my, life. And I just could not understand. But, me, I continue to press on. I continue to move forward because I felt that if I continued, then eventually I would find internal success. Let me tell you, you never find internal success if you never stop and deal with the internal conflict. So let me shift from what I acknowledge about what I thought were my wins, which technically, they kind of were my wins. However, I didn't feel they were the wins that really satisfied the void that was on the inside of me. So I shifted to what is my purpose? What achievement to purpose was I, gunning for in my life? And I thought that if I achieved the purpose of being of service to everyone else and being of service to those who were, I felt, less fortunate or in need, or those who could not find their way the way I found my way, then that was my purpose, to be a guiding light, to be a pathway to success, to be someone that could relate to those individuals who were enduring, it may have been self-inflicted or, parental inflicted wounds. And I wanted to be that savior. So I felt that that became my purpose in life, was to be a savior. Boy, was I wrong, and I mean wrong. Achieving big goals can leave an emotional gap, and trust me, achieving big goals in an environment where others who may be older than you, others who may see you as a easy target, sometimes can create a bigger emotional void, because those individuals tend to target you and tend to seek you out to use you and in turn betray you. So, I thought achieving these big goals around these individuals would make me feel gratitude. Also, would make me feel like I was achieving a purpose in life. However, when you've accomplished what you set out to do early in life, you are left wondering, what now? Do I keep climbing, or is there another mountain I should scale? But this question also comes with another question. Will the people around me be as happy for me if I achieve another goal in my life? And I can answer that question for you. No, they will not. The more they see you achieve, the more they will target you. In my opinion, they will target you and try to, I don't want to say knock you off of your mountain climb, but they will definitely try to hinder and interfere. But that interference will only come if they're not benefiting from what you've achieved and accomplished in your life. So I felt that even though I had, achieved a lot of these things, that they would, validate me, they would love me. However, it was the complete opposite. They hated me the most. They, talked about me, they denied me, they betrayed me at best. And it was like, what is the purpose of achieving goals in life if I do not have people who are as excited for me as I am for myself? Begin to realize that clearly this is not my purpose or path in life. And then I also too started to realize that I felt guilt because I wanted to become selfish. But then, growing up in a household where you had to regulate your emotions based off of your parents' emotions and how that parent felt that day, you realize that maybe I shouldn't feel, selfish, because if I do feel selfish about just being on for myself, then that wouldn't be of godly purpose, and that wouldn't, be of purpose of the reason why I have achieved, or I am achieving, the goals that I am achieving in my life. So that then rolls us over into why feeling lost after success or after achieving certain goals in your life is normal. I would say that the psychological phenomenon of feeling empty after achieving, life goals is when we tie our sense of purpose to achievements. Reaching them can feel like crossing a finish line only to realize that the race in life is not over. And when you realize that, you almost wonder, do I want to continue? Do I want to continue this race? Do I want to continue seeking validation? Do I want to continue seeking achievements, purpose? What do I really want out of this life? And you begin to deeply question yourself. And again, here comes that word that a lot of us don't like, that D word. The depression begins to creep in, and then you have other mental, health issues that creep in, and you're like, God, what is going on with me? Why did you create me to be such a great person that have the capabilities to achieve certain goals and certain things in life, but yet I never feel adequate enough internally to feel like these goals are valuable or valued to me, because that's just, the feeling that we have, right? You begin to then question your identity. Who am I? What am I? Why am I? And of course, my identity crisis came when I shifted out of my internal pain and started to see that I had created an identity based around being valued and being validated by my mom, because she never gave me that validation. She never made me feel as if I was good enough or worthy enough to be someone that received love from her, approval from her. I even remember one time a aunt of mine told me that she had a conversation with my mom, and my mom told her, why would I tell her I am proud of her? That is something that I can't do and something that I would never do, despite all of the things that I had accomplished. That created a void in my identity, who I believed I was and why I believe I was the person that I was. So understanding that I had built an identity around achieving goals and achieving accomplishments made me question, who am I beyond what I've achieved or accomplished, based off of the identity that I created in order to feel the love and validation from individuals who may never even see me as who I genuinely wanted them to see me as, or who I felt I wanted to be within myself. That in itself make you have an identity crisis of, what is really going on? Why am I really going after these dreams or after these goals? Are they really mine? Do I really want them? Are they really worth it when I don't even receive the love, validation, or whatever I am seeking due to me achieving these goals. And in that self reflection and in that self questioning, you begin to spiral. You spiral into deep thought, deep internal questioning, and you begin to wonder why society praise external success but rarely prepare us for the internal questions that arise after we make it. Do we really need to make it, or are we trying to make it in order to achieve love, money, success, fame? What are we really seeking validation for? What are we really creating the identity that we create or accomplishing the goals that we accomplish for? Or who are we doing it for? Are we really doing it for ourselves? For me, answering that question, no, we're not. I never did anything for myself. I never did any type of accomplishment because I felt it was what I truly wanted. I always did it because I believed that it would get me some type of love, some type of validation, and some type of someone telling me that they were proud of me. So that rolls us over into finding new direction and purpose. The importance of self reflection. I can say that I am an individual who have grown to a space to where now I do not even want to read a self-help book. I do not care. I do not care to fix myself. I do not care to fix the things that once made me feel that I was not good enough or worthy enough, because I am great. I am beautiful. I am one of the best people I know. I am an individual who has gone through many trials and hardships, and I can say that God has definitely created a resilient individual within myself. So I feel that my self-reflection is what excites me to continue to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. The goals now that I want to achieve are not goals of financial stability. They are not goals of finding the best job, being a CEO, even though I am a CEO. Those are not things that I desire to achieve anymore because I do not desire that validation any longer. I desire peace. I desire quietness. I desire to travel and experience life abundantly. And I desire to do that with a sound of mind, with a sound of heart, and a peace of mind and peace of my heart. Your goals and dreams can evolve you as you grow. They can evolve you and they can evolve as you grow. And it's okay to pivot and seek something new. For a long time, I felt that I could not change. I went from one business to the next business, and now I'm in a new business in a completely new field with new certifications. And I almost felt ashamed because I went from one to the next, and I achieved success in each one of them. And as I achieved success, I felt that, okay, done. And I had to realize that I'm the type of person that once I accomplish it, I can do it so fast and do it to a high level that, okay, done. What's next? And at first I felt embarrassed by it because what would people think? She's not stable. She's not good enough. She's not capable and to function, properly, because those were the things that I was told as a child, and made to feel imbalanced, made to feel unworthy, made to feel unlovable. However, the things that I have accomplished in my life has shown me and told me, even to just now, that I have been able to do what most people would never do in their lives. I have seen the heights of things that most people will never see, and I have seen the lows of things that most people will never see, or lows that they will never come out of. Let me say it like that. So I have learned that it is okay to pivot and seek something new, which I definitely am seeking something new, even by doing this podcast. So it is something that you can take and say, you know what, that was then, and this is definitely now. So now I think that shifting from achieving goals to living with intention is my now focus, because I am no longer, I gotta do this, I have to do that, my fight or flight. I'm no longer in that. What do I want to say? My nervous system has definitely regulated. So I am more into exploring questions in my life like, what impact do I want to leave on this world? And I definitely want to leave an impact of authenticity. I believe that if we are authentically ourselves, we cannot give one care about the world viewpoint of us. Also, the question I want to ask: what brings me joy or brings me peace, even without external validation? I do say and feel whatever I want. Half the time, I might not walk out the house with my hair combed. I don't care. If I choose to walk and live in sweats and a hoodie all day, every day, that is my choice. I do not need the validation of being very well put together all the time. I love who I am and how I look. Those are the questions that I have been asking myself as of late. And moving into closer into my 40s, I am realizing that I do not have to validate anyone, nor does anyone have to validate me. And I choose to live as I please. It's okay to not have everything figured out. Life is an ongoing journey, and you can really choose to live your life how you want to choose. I don't have any more needs or desires for people to see me a certain way, because I've lived life in the way that everyone else wanted me to live, and living it the way I choose to live it is definitely my strong point now. So, just to give you some encouragement and also some takeaways, I want to ask you the question: have you ever felt unsure about life, even when things look great on paper? Because I look amazing on paper, but inside of my head, I am like, girl, we have to get it together. What goals are you questioning or redefining right now in your life? I want to encourage you to share your thoughts, whether it be on my social media pages, my YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel, All Things Business with Sheridan Raphael, or you can go to my Instagram, Tech Savvy Pro, or you can, of course, send me a message on my podcast, All Things Business. Here's some things that I am doing myself. I am actually writing more. I am writing more, and I am also learning a different way to pray. Instead of praying and asking, or I would call it as begging God, I in myself am more gratitude prayers. Instead of the old, I come from Southern Baptist, so of course we have the whole hymns and old God and the long prayers, of course, that'll keep you in church until 5 o'clock in the evening. I am more intentional with my prayers now, and they're more of gratitude. When I start my prayer, it is, I thank you, I am grateful, I am blessed, I am honored. Those are now the way, that is now how I choose to pray. That is not how I choose to create gratitude in my life. I acknowledge and celebrate my wins. They may not be big, but they are big to me. And now they are my own that I can keep private. I journal what fulfillment looks like to me. I've redefined what success looks like. The success now is peace. Success now for me is I do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I feel good about doing it. That's my success. So I want for you to determine, what does your success and self-fulfillment look like to you for now, 5 years, 10 years. What will that look like for you? I want you to set small, curiosity driven goals to explore new paths without pressure and the need for validation of others. Simply because you've achieved so much already, don't let the uncertainty of what's next overshadow that. This feeling isn't failure, it's growth. It's life calling you to a new chapter, and you have the power to define it on your terms. Do not allow anyone to dictate and determine that for you. So, next time, I'll dive into strategies for rediscovering your passion and creating new goals that align with who you are today. Not who they want you to be, but who you are today. I hope you guys have learned something. I hope this message has healed you or caused you to redirect your thoughts and self reflect on what you find as personal achievements for your life. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope to see you guys next time.